Instagram Hotties this week, Volume 10. If you want to submit yourself, you want to do that to Bill, shoot him an email.
Got some good submissions this week, too.
Fantastic.
Real nice rumps. Killing over here.
Yeah. So,
how long was that commercial break? Like 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, it was not. It was not long. No. So, right, the Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
The Instagram Hotties, Volume 10, those are there. And submit yourself if you feel that, boy, you'd like a lot of people to see you. It's just bill@alancoxshow.com would be the email address.
You don't have to be naked or anything, ladies.
Right.
I think just be a nice picture of your pretty face.
Your rump.
Or your rump. If you got a nice rump, show off that rump.
That rump.
Got rumps like a truck.
There you go. I was doing a little check on old celebrities, make sure that they were all alive and accounted for and doing all right.
Are they?
I mean, the ones that I checked in on are. Bob Barker is still alive. There are a lot of, you'll read about people dying from coronavirus, famous people, Joe Diffie and, differing levels of fame, but, renowned, well-known people in their area of expertise.
Or like one of the founders of Fountains of Wayne is infected with coronavirus?
Yeah, a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
A handful of people have died from it, and none of those people have been particularly old. It's interesting. I've seen more stories over the last couple of days, and I'm sure it's because they want to put a spotlight on it, but more stories of really old people who have recovered from COVID-19. There was a 103-year-old guy in Virginia or something, he's like, I was in the foxholes in Guam. This bull isn't going to kill me. So a lot of really old...
Some pansy-ass virus isn't going to stop me.
Sure. A lot of really old celebrities are still alive. Hugh Downs is... You remember Hugh Downs from 2020?
I remember the name.
He was on there with Barbara Walters back in the day. Hugh Downs, the pride of Akron, Ohio, I should add. Oh. He is 90...
Just a kid from Akron.
Yeah, he's just a kid from Akron. Mm-hmm. He is 99 years old, and he's still alive. Betty White is still alive. She's 98. She's in her home quarantining in L.A. Bob Barker is 96.
I want to see how Betty White's house is. Like, I want to see how she living. I bet you it's like a bunch of like old carpeting and stuff.
Old carpeting.
It looks like an old person lives there. You know how you can tell.
Probably looks like her apartment from the Golden Girls. Probably just moved the whole set over to her place.
Or she just lives on that set.
Lives on the set.
I want her to have like a baller's mansion. Like she has like an infinity pool, a 90-person hot tub.
Man, I got on Amazon and like Wayfair and stuff last night. I ordered a new bed today. And I'm like, I'll get stuff for my bedroom. And I'm telling you, when it comes to ridiculous baller things, there was like a $700 weird LED curly light lamp. I'm like, I'm going to get that.
$700?
I'm not actually going to get it, but I feel like if I had money, I'd have the tackiest looking place.
Yeah, money can't buy taste, boy.
Oh, boy. But like some of the things, I'm like, this is so cool. And then I'm also looking at it like I'm probably the only person who thinks that thing is cool. Like,
that's probably why it's still there.
It was like $600. I'm like, man, I want this next to my bed.
I assume curly lamp, you mean the newly departed Curly Neal from the Globetrotters.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
$700, it would be a bargain at twice the price, quite frankly.
Oh, boy. Now I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah, so there's a list. I stumbled across a list of 25 celebrities in their 90s, not just old, in their 90s, who are sequestering, and people are checking in on them to make sure that they're still okay. Jimmy Carter is still alive. He's our oldest living ex-president.
Yeah.
And his wife is alive, too, I believe.
Rosalind Carter is still alive. Cicely Tyson is 95. Angela Lansbury is still alive. These are the people that when you play one of those are they alive or not games, it's real hard to nail down. David Attenborough, who did a lot of documentaries, his brother Richard Attenborough was the old guy in Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
He's 93. He's alive. Tony Bennett, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, Jerry Stiller is 92. My old friend Bob Newhart is still alive, 90 years old.
I love Bob Newhart.
Christopher Plummer is 90. All these people are... John Aston The original Gomez Addams,
Oh, yeah.
still alive.
Dick Van Dyke? He's
Says
still
he was.
kicking?
This says he was also the Riddler on Batman, but that was Frank Gorshin was the Riddler, not John Astin. Unless he,
You sure he didn't do a stint?
I don't ever recall that. I could be wrong, and maybe I am, but I don't ever recall John Astin being the Riddler. So anyway, there are a lot of celebrities in their 90s who are still alive.
Is Dick Van Dyke in his 90s?
Dick Van Dyke is very much in his 90s.
Yeah, I thought so.
Dick Van Dyke is 94 years old.
Yeah.
He was, I think, at the last Bernie rally before they
Said, go
stopped
home.
public gatherings. Cloris Leachman, Frau Blucher. Yeah, that's right. She's 93 years old.
Booga.
Blucher.
Oh, maybe I'll watch that movie tonight.
Some cow corn.
Yes.
Frankenstein.
I love it. Oh, why isn't it pronounced Frederick? It isn't. It's Frederick.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of old people.
You want to be that old?
How old?
95.
I think if I still had my faculties and was feeling okay, absolutely. I want to live as long as I can live and not be stricken
Decrepit.
with...
Yeah.
My grandmother, I think of her. I think of my grandmother who died a couple of weeks shy of her 103rd birthday. And she was literally, I mean, yeah, she beat breast cancer a couple of times, and she outlived a husband who was older than her, and then she outlived a husband who was considerably younger than her. And nothing could get her.
A lot of people, that's what I'm saying. You go through a lot of heartache, man. A lot of people
all of her
die.
siblings died before her.
Right.
All of her friends died before her. But, you know, she was a woman of God, and she believed very strongly in that stuff, and she wasn't... she didn't proselytize about it, but she felt she was very Catholic and felt very strongly about that, and I'm
So
sure...
she died of old age.
Yeah, she just...
Wow.
But up until the very end, she was... yeah, she was lucid, and, you know, I think it was literally...
She's pretty with it, yeah.
She was. She lived by herself.
Everyone always...
Until like 2 months before, when my mom was like, you got to live with us because it was just too hard for her to get around. But literally, until she was 101, my grandmother was living by herself in a 2-story house.
That's going to be me.
And so I'm like, yeah, I mean, granted, she was by herself for the last like 20 years of her life.
20 years.
But like my grandfather, her first husband, my mom's dad, was 13 years older than my grandmother. And then when she remarried, when I was a senior in high school, to this guy who was a neighbor, and they struck up a friendship because his wife had died, and my grandma had helped them through that.
And they just live right there.
They were next door, and they ended up just, they got married, whatever. So I was a senior in high school. And she figured, well, I'm safe this time because I'm not going to outlive him because he was 11 years younger than she was. She outlived him.
How old was he when he
He was a
passed?
newspaper man, and so he got mesothelioma from the printing presses or something.
really?
Or,
God,
you know.
he was a newsie.
She may be entitled to compensation.
J.G.
I think she's looked into that maybe. No, but he had a bunch of kids, so she had like step kids too. You know, that were like in the family, and you know, so they were very sweet. My step grandfather was from the Dayton area, so my grandma, even before I moved to Cleveland, my grandma was in Ohio every so often when they were still married.
It's just so weird that everyone talks about like wanting to die of old age, but a very small percentage of people actually do. Something gets you before then. But then,
Yeah, but a lot of people
what do you
live to
consider, though?
a lot of people live to an old age. I just gave you a list of 25 old Hollywood types who are still alive and kicking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the cause of death is just being, like, how do you get to have your death be natural causes? What is natural causes? Is that just old age?
Yeah, I think you just fall asleep and don't wake up. Or
Because, like, if you die and you're 95 and you're just like, oh, but he had cancer. Do they say cancer? Do they say of old age? Like,
well, you say cancer. I mean, I think if there's an extenuating circumstance with your health, that's what you died. You know, like people back in the day who had AIDS. They were like, you just die from complications of that. It just weakens your immune system so much that pneumonia kills you or whatever. You know, you're not like, they'd say died from complications of AIDS.
You know, I was thinking about on the drive here, I was like, if I get into a car accident and like I pass away or whatever, and I was like, wouldn't it be something that coronavirus is just so like in the news right now? They were like, oh yeah, well, he was a broadcaster, he died in a car accident, ... And he also tested positive for coronavirus,
Etc. ...
Etc.
Like they would have to put that in there because it's like it's not enough that I would die in a car accident. It would be like I also have to have coronavirus too. They later found out.
They're not going to test you after you're dead.
Yeah, what's the point of finding out you have coronavirus after you're dead?
Because then they were like, oh, well, who did he touch on the way? Did he stop somewhere at the gas station? Does the gas station clerk have it? Did he go home? Was he with coworkers?
Was he coughing so hard that he crashed his car?
Wouldn't you guys want to know if I passed away and they're just like, oh, well, he got into a car accident because, he closed his eyes for a
because
split
of complications from coronavirus? I know I've known you for a little while now. And I know I shouldn't be surprised by the things that come out of your mouth. But when you think about getting in a car accident, and the first thing that you think is what the headline would be.
I know.
I just can't wrap my mind around
I have
it.
issues, all right?
I can't wrap my mind around the fact that it's not that
Imagine
you wouldn't
there'd be a
see
headline.
your family again. Yeah, there would be a headline to begin with.
Listen, I've known him longer than you.
It's only
And
been about
every
2
day
years.
I am fascinated by something that comes out of his mouth. I see that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Think of all of the amazing, bonkers things he has yet to say that you will be privy to,
That's true.
that this audience will enjoy.
As long as he doesn't succumb to car crashes because of coronavirus.
Coronavirus-related car crashes. Hey, they're finding new symptoms every day, right? Did he die from coronavirus? Well, kind of. He crashed his car because of the coronavirus.
He didn't use his blinker because of corona. He was too busy coughing, using his hand, and use his blinker.
You don't ever
Right.
think about
T-boned.
that? Like,
He got the car-ronavirus,
Yes.
Mary.
what the optics would be if you died in some crazy way?
No.
You
Why
guys
do I care? I'm dead.
I don't know. You
The
don't-
That's the
optics.
best part of being dead is you don't have to
I
care.
do think
Hey, here's a
sometimes-
tip. Worry about the optics while you're alive.
I sometimes think about how ironic it would be if I were to get killed by a drunk driver. Like if I had finally quit drinking and I was notorious for drinking and driving, and then what took me out was someone else being drunk.
Yeah.
I've thought about that.
Irony.
Yes, but I haven't thought about.
Imagine someone
Local
making
comedian.
me laugh to death.
Yeah.
Oh, irony.
The irony.
Cleveland has been deprived of its most popular female comedian.
The scene,
One Mary Santora.
the scene took away the male and female this year.
Frankly, I think that it's very optimistic of Poundcake to think that the word broadcaster is going to be anywhere
Why
in his
wouldn't it?
obituary. Why would it?
Phone screener.
Phone screener.
Well, no, whatever. I mean, they're just going to go, hey, that guy was on the radio.
Radio personality.
There you go.
Divisive radio personality.
Divisive.
Divisive.
Cody Poundcake Brown.
Owner of 5,000 D picks that he refused to get rid of.
Poundcake probably is going to be written on my headstone
Cody Poundcake
And your
Brown.
headstone?
Why would Poundcake be on your headstone?
because
Because
mom?
what?
it probably would.
Your mom's going to put that on your headstone?
Probably.
I love you, my little Poundcake. She goes to see and it says, here lies Poundcake. He died from coronavirus-related automobile injuries. That's a lot to put on there, of course, but,
Yeah,
it
they
could
got
be
room.
there. Yeah, they got room.
It'll be in the program.
Do the small font.
1992 to 2000. We'll give you 22, right?
Sure.
2022. That's
I'll be
when
30.
coronavirus is probably going to be burned out completely. Alan, my grandma just died short of 105. She can get sick. Her body just went through a gradual shutdown. That's kind of how my grandma was, too.
That's what
She
I'm
was in
saying.
the hospital for a couple of weeks, and it got to the very end where she started, I assume, talking to Jesus. And that was it. And my mom called all of us and said, Grandma's gone.
100 glorious years.
Because by that time, you're just waiting for her to die, right?
Yeah.
You're happy she's not ill or in
Or
pain
suffering or anything
Yeah,
like
but it's
that.
not like people are like, rending their garments and gnashing their teeth, and I kind of, in a weird way,
It's still
felt
incredibly
relieved.
sad, though.
It's sad, but I also felt relieved from my mom to a certain degree because she had been so intent on, it's a lot that goes into taking
Yeah.
care of an old person.
When my grandpa passed away, I had a moment where I just broke down, but I remember my uncle who was coming back and forth from hospice, 3 or 4 times a day visiting him. And so it was just part of his routine. And he came back and he didn't get the news that he had passed away. So he walked in the room and he was just talking to everybody and everybody's kind of quiet. And then he looked and he's like, it happened. And he just broke down.
Yeah.
Because it had become such a routine to go and visit his dad in that situation that it was kind of normalized. And then he wasn't really prepared for it to end. And
Yeah.
it was really heartbreaking.
People sending me photos of John Astin. He did play the Riddler.
There you go.
when Frank Gorshin held out for a pay raise because he believed he was the star of the show. All right, well, again, so they went from Frank Gorshin to John Astin, the guy with a mustache. They're probably like, we're going to need you to shave that mustache. No. It's like when Dan Aykroyd on SNL
Cesar
would
Romero
play the president, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to shave my mustache.
Cesar Romero played the Joker, and they just put makeup
Yeah.
on over the mustache.
He had a white mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
And TVs weren't really high res back then. Get away with stuff like that.
I got a Poundcake call on the after hours line, by the way. If you want to hear it.
Yeah. Are his curtains too short too?
Hey, Alan.
I don't know. Has he posted a photo of his curtains? He strikes me as a blinds guy, not a
Yeah.
drapes dude.
You bought all this stuff and no curtains?
No, I just bought my bed and my mattress today.
And then you also bought that
I bought a TV stand yesterday.
TV stand yesterday.
Yeah.
But no curtains.
Curtains, you got to go out and buy them. You got to
Yeah.
like go out and look at them and touch them and buy them.
I don't know.
A TV stand you buy offline, a bed you buy offline.
Huh, okay.
Mattress I had tried out months ago, but finally had the money
have
to
to
do it
touch
now.
your curtains.
You want to feel your curtains.
Yeah, you want to see what they're like, right?
Nah, I would just.
Sight unseen curtains.
No, I mean, I would look at them online and be like, hey, these look like good curtains.
Well, yeah, you're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I get what you're saying,
I
but
don't
he's
know.
not
I
going to.
get
He's
a lot
not
of
going to go.
compliments on the way my
No, I'm
apartment
not
looks.
saying. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying he's not going to take the time to go to a fabric store and figure out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Alan. I really enjoy Poundcake. I really do. But I'm concerned for him. And I say this with the best of intentions. Bill and Mary create content for the show. They create content that doesn't even make it onto the show. I'm just concerned that Cody is stuck in a rut, with the day job and the night job. And far be it for me to criticize anybody's choices on how they make money. But I know that if he wants to go further in railroad, in radio...
Do you want to go further in the railroad business, Poundcake?
How
How are you going to make it in the railroad biz?
It's essential. It's an essential business. So
That's true.
He needs to create some content, be producing things on his own and, something interesting or funny. And I hearken back to the article, not the article, what was an article, right, or a blog or something he was going to do. But I'm just concerned that he's wasting away.
Now, whatever happened to Poundcake's Corner?
Poundcake's Corner.
Yeah, well, whatever it was. I gave you empty column inches on the website.
I did it twice.
Oh! 2 times, Bill.
They did twice, Alan.
did it
was
twice.
it?
2 times.
What am I
Yeah.
thinking?
Yeah.
What was
It's
it about?
It's like once a year.
It was about him.
Yeah.
It wasn't about me, but I wrote it twice, and you guys said you didn't like it.
So that's what you do is you go, I'll just stop?
No, I thought you guys didn't like it.
No, we didn't. We critiqued it.
We critiqued it.
We were trying to tell you how to
Improve it.
improve it and make it
What
better.
type of column was it? What was it about? Like, what was it?
Whatever he wanted.
You were here.
I gave him carte
periodically.
blanche.
I wasn't here for that.
You were here because I remember when you may not have been there the specific day that we talked about it, but I remember I was kind of like modeling it after an article that you did.
In Pressure Life?
Yeah, because you were like, I remember the article. It was like, so you gave the bartender your number.
Yeah.
And so I was doing something like that, but I was kind of creating it towards like incidents I've had from like my childhood or growing up like that. But I thought you guys were like, okay, this wasn't a good idea. It was a failed bit. So that's what I took.
No,
from.
I just said improve your writing.
My apologies. I could do it. I got a lot of free time now.
And I don't care.
So
We're
you
not
don't want
going to
me
bring
to
back the Pound Corner?
Hey, no, he can write it. We'll post it.
I'll totally
All right, yeah,
write it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I got tons of free time now, but I took it as I didn't know you guys were critiquing it. You were just like, oh, well.
Well, because no, you did it twice, and then we were like, "Hey, you didn't." And he's like, "Well, you said that because you felt like you had to write it every week, it wasn't coming to you."
No, it wasn't even like I had to write it every week. I just didn't know what format you guys wanted it in because I was writing it.
I didn't
AKA.
care.
Yeah, we just wanted.
I gave you
to
carte
do content.
blanche.
Okay, well, totally.
and it's gonna evolve as you do it more frequently.
Okay.
You'll find out what makes this a good article and what's going to resonate with people.
All right.
But you got to keep creating content, and that's what this phone call was saying. Is you did it twice, and then we said, they were kind of okay, but there were people that liked it. So but you got to keep creating content. You can't do things twice and be like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
2 isn't a long enough timeline to discern the trajectory of anything.
See, I took it as you guys didn't want to take up the ad space on something
No,
ridiculous.
There's no ad
They're
space
not-
on it.
Not ad space, but like just
we don't
stuff
run
on the
out of
website.
posts on the website. You can do as many as you want.
So would I send that to you, Alan, or send it
Yeah.
to... Okay.
Send it to me. I can post it.
Okay.
And I'll make a nice graphic for it and everything.
You send it to me, and then
Yeah.
I send it to Bill.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I send it back to you,
Edited.
edited.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't, there's no length on it, right? Like I can write it as long as I
Keep
want.
it under 750.
Sev-
750
50
words is like a good amount.
No. Keep it under 750 minutes to read it.
750 words, I feel like, is a good. If you're just starting out writing, that's a good place to.
Let's keep it to 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
An editor is your best friend when you're writing.
Sure.
You want it to be punchy and intriguing to people.
Pow, pow, pow.
I enjoyed doing it, but I just didn't think that you guys thought it was a good fit. That's all. That's the only reason why I stopped.
And it's free reign.
Because-
There's no theme or no.
And I think you
Cody's Corner.
It's
Cody's Corner.
Yeah. You can do what he wants.
It's a pound column.
Okay, sweet.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Blog cake.
Yeah, whatever. All that stuff. Sure.
Blog cake sounds like a
It's
baking
due tomorrow.
fail. No.
I can do it tomorrow. I have
No,
plenty
you
of
do
free
it
time.
tonight.
I mean, that's what I mean. I can have it ready tomorrow.
You send it to Alan. We'll have it up on the website by tomorrow evening.
Don't put that kind of, because then you just want to put anything out.
Well, I have stuff building up. It's fine.
Well, he's not. That's why I send it back, and I go,
I don't like it.
no,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be by tomorrow. Just be thinking about it.
But we need to give him a deadline.
Just percolate.
Monday. Or pick a day of the week that it comes out every week.
By end of this week.
Okay.
End of this
I would
week.
like it to by Thursday. Throwback Thursday. You invited Throwback Thursday. We'll make it Poundcake's Thursday show.
There you go.
I'll start on it
Do
today.
a Throwback Thursday article.
Okay. That's fine. I have plenty of pictures that I can talk about. Isn't this in my life?
I mean, actually, I didn't really edit his other columns. All I did was correct the spelling.
Don't even. Do
But
that.
I don't even know if I'm going to do that.
even
Well,
do
but
that.
it's still. I mean, I
It has
still
to be,
want
you
it
have
to
to be able to read it.
I mean, the point of it is for him to get his thoughts across, right? I don't necessarily know that.
But even the best writers have an editor.
Everybody has an editor. You need
right,
an
but they're
editor.
not editing someone's spelling.
Some of them
And
are.
grammar. No, not professional writers who have editors are not being edited on their spelling.
They're editing like the flow of
Yeah.
the piece.
But I feel
like
like
this sentence belongs at the beginning instead of the middle of this paragraph.
I'm sure like structure and stuff like that I probably would have like issues with, and I'm sure I probably have, but like spelling, I can't imagine I'm misspelling that many words, especially on Word, because it corrects it for you.
Well, you can
And
spell.
yet, I had plenty to do the last two columns you sent me.
Yes, I'm surprised. Okay.
You can spell a word properly and it still be the incorrect word, though.
Right.
I know that.
Especially now with Grammarly. I mean, it's really, writing has gotten pretty idiot-proof between spell check and Grammarly, if that's in your browser.
There are some things that it could be on text message or Word or email or whatever, and I will spell a word right, but that bitch will still look wrong.
I was just talking with my friend about that. Recommend gets me a lot. I don't know, the C's and M ratio throw me off.
1C, 2 M's.
I always want to put 2 C's in that.
Yeah.
Recommend, because it's like recommend, you know?
Well, wow, when you sounded out like that, now I get
Because
it.
you do recommend. That one gets me. Vacuum gets me too.
All right.
That 2 C's. You
2 U's, 1 C.
2 U's.
Yes!
What are you doing English language? I hate our
You
language.
want to
It's
vacuum.
trash.
You want to put 2
C-U-U-M.
C's in
Yeah.
that. That's another double C'er.
Oh, frankly, I don't want any C's in there. I want it to be a vacuum.
Vacuum.
Yep.
Vacuum.
I
That's-
prefer that. If you're going to make it sound Dutch, go all the way.
Yeah.
Vacuum.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
All right.
Alan, I literally just went to Poundcake's Columns podcast back in November of 2018. Be careful what you wish for. Okay,
He's
that's
gotta-
fine.
He's
I
got to
want-
create content to
I
get
want
better at
I
it.
want some new stuff. That's
Yeah.
all. I'm not even putting guardrails up. Just new stuff.
He's gotta
We'll
create.
start fresh. Right? We'll start fresh. From the mind of Poundcake. Etc. ... is what we'll call it.
Etc.
Etc. is what he says. Yeah.
Etc. Right?
He said
It's et cetera.
etc.
But I like when he said etc. and then you asked him to spell it and he said etc. ... Right.
I'm excited for this.
We were going to do a column with Mary called Dear Flatso, but that never really took off, right?
Dude, send me your Dear Flatso letters. Are you kidding me? I would love to respond to Dear Flatso letters.
Dear Flatso, I have a problem with my boyfriend.
Mary@AlanCoxShow.com. Send me your Dear Flatso letters.
Can we repost the old columns, people are asking?
I
think that would be-
Yeah, we can dig through and find them.
Or people can, I'm sure there's a keyword. All you got to do, I remember one was snacks up the neighborhood.
There we go.
That was the one, and then I forget what the first one was. But, I mean, I'm sure if you type in, like, Poundcake's column into, the keyword at WMMS.com, you could probably find
We'll
it.
figure it out. But you think about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me break. I want to get a text in, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff, and we'll be back after these.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.